From 23dB Production Studios in the Garden State, New Jersey, this is The Art of Music Tech with your hosts, Fela and Dennis.
Let's go, and welcome back to the Art of Music Tech podcast. I'm your host, Fela, over there.
Dennis, how you doing, guys?
All right, we're still on the road in Harlem at the National Jazz Museum in Harlem with the one and only Ryan Maloney.
Hey. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me.
Oh, yes. Thank you for your tales of woe and audio of floods earlier. And and how you got in with some of just the top places in jazz in meeting I guess for us are legends in the audio game of T.O. And his reign at Columbia.
Yep.
Right?
He was at Columbia
with Miles Davis and all of that crew. Just the legends of what we do.
Yeah.
What started it. But on this episode, we're going to get a little bit more into what we as 23dB Productions did with the National Jazz Museum. Ryan reached out to us last year about putting in a small audio system, and they had some things that they wanted to do, live stream, record, and getting all those options in one package. And we just wanted to talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
And how that came about, what you had before, because this is a new space.
We've been in this physical space it'll be 3 years. It's about 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
And before this, we were in a very small space that, we had very minimal gear, a couple microphones, and we were using a Zoom recorder to record our live events, just for like our own kind of institutional archive. There was no plan to use those for anything else, making them accessible to the public necessarily, or in the day of podcasts and streaming audio, repurpose them for anything. But, so when we moved into this new space, it also gave us an opportunity to do more live music. So there was a lot of different reasons why we knew there was an serious upgrade needed. We tried a couple of events with just our little system we had, and it just was not, it was not going to happen. It was not cutting it. So, I got to know you guys because you guys were doing your work with Christian McBride.
Yep.
And we had a small grant to do some upgrades here. And, I asked Christian, he's like, man, these are the people you need to talk to. They'll hook it up for you. So, yeah, that's how we kind of started. We had a need. We had a little bit of money to kind of get it started, reached out to you guys, and, took it from there.
Yeah, it's been great. Again, you guys are streaming on YouTube.
You can actually come back and watch the streaming, right?
Yeah, for certain events we do, we archive it on our YouTube channel, Jazz Museum in Harlem, and you can go to our YouTube page and see some of the archived events. We do live music, panel discussions, conversation series, listening parties, all kinds of different formats, different settings. And that's why, it was one thing if we just needed a couple mics for like a singer or something, like we could have figured that out. But because we had the intention of doing all these different types of things, like all of a sudden it came in like lapel mics and this kind of mic and that kind of mic and mic in the piano, things that, I know the bare basics of, how to adjust, like, make a mic louder or softer, like that was my base knowledge. So we knew once we were in here and wanted to do all these things, especially with the live stream, we were behind the game, honestly. Like we were behind the times with that kind of stuff. And we still are in a way, we're gearing up to be able to do some podcasting and things. And this whole upgrade has allowed us to do that. But it was important for us to get the right system at the right time so we could really professionalize what it is that we do in our new space. We had this new beautiful space. We needed to make sure that the things we were doing in here sounded good, and as a small nonprofit, literally every penny counts. It sounds kind of crazy, but literally every penny we count and we have to be accountable for. So we needed to make sure that we were able to stretch that money as far as we could. And when you guys came over with your proposal, we were excited that we were able to get such a robust, system for the price, the value, the money that we had available. And it's been beautiful. Like, it's been working out great.
Yeah. This give you a taste. We of course we got them the Lewitt packages on the mics, which sound great. Whether you're streaming or just listening live. I think we get the Midas 16 channel.
M16.
The M16, which is great because you can multi-track, 2-track record. You can kind of do everything that you need to do in your space.
We set it up so it goes into the video stream too.
Yeah. It also feeds the broadcast feed for the YouTube and as well. And I mean, it could be expanded at any point to Facebook and all that kind of stuff as you want to expand the game, you know. So
well, and one of the things that one of our challenges was, and what I was upfront with at the very beginning, is we don't have money to hire an engineer for every event we do.
Exactly.
So that means between myself and our staff here, we needed a system that it was robust and professional, but we could, in our limited ability, set it up, do some basic recording for some of these easier, more simple events. Like, we've certainly had you guys come in and help us out for more robust events that we've done. But, we need to be able to set up a handful of mics, create a real simple mix and record it. And the great thing about this board is, you just stick a USB drive in there and hit record and you're getting a 2-track recording, which, it was simple enough for us that we are able to, pretty much run a simple event by ourselves. Which is
that
huge.
was important for us as well. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to call at 8 p.m. Hello, hey.
You still get those every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
But usually it's because I've had some sort of brain cramp and I can't figure out what the heck I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Oh no, but it's simple enough to where I can still walk you through it, and I don't have to be there and charge you a premium amount for me to walk in with my suitcase.
Yep, exactly. That's why the Facebook video, video chat, I can hold up my phone and be like, this is what the board looks like, and I'm not getting this out of it. Like, what do I do? And you guys have always been very gracious and accepted my texts and pleas. Not that I tried to be respectful about it, but you guys have always been really great at helping out. And that's not something, I can't speak for your whole industry, but people are out there to make money, and I understand that, and you're busy and you got a lot of things going on. So the fact that you guys are willing to support us, not just in the initial build out, but as we grow and as we learn, you guys have been really helpful at, helping us grow and learn, through that process. And that's been huge. We couldn't have done it. If you'd walked out the door and patted us on the back and said, hey, good luck, we would have been stuck, So thank you guys for that.
I love this place. You guys have some great interactive activities here. And your archives. Actually, we did what would you call the interactive portion we did with the Christian McBride? I have to post pictures of that as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we built a little play along kiosk here in the museum where Christian McBride's our co-artistic director here at the museum, along with Jonathan Batiste, piano player.
The Colbert Show.
Yep, Colbert Show, and they both are really committed to the museum here. And John plays shows here off and on all year. He just did a solo piano show on the Duke Ellington piano.
The Duke Ellington piano,
which we recorded with the system, that you guys designed for us, and it sounds great. There's some gain issues I learned after I played it for you guys, but doing my best. So Christian, it was after one of our events that we did. He was here already, but we recorded him and a couple of young musicians in a trio. They just did a couple of tunes, and then we imported those videos that you guys recorded into a interactive kiosk here at the museum. And there's a little 2.5 octave MIDI controller keyboard that you can actually it's a touch screen, so you touch the song Tanya they recorded, you touch that and it plays, and then you can actually play along with the little keyboard. So it's like, if you've ever seen like the Jamie Aebersold play along CDs or something, it's a play along, but it's designed. We got an easy song, a medium song, and a hard song.
Yeah.
So if you've never improvised before in your life, you've never played jazz, you may never even played an instrument before, you can come in. And it says on the kiosk, it says, just play the black notes. Like, it's just a pentatonic
keys,
thing. Just play the black keys on the piano, and you're going to sound all right harmonically. So we get people as young as 5 years old, coming in and trying and improvising for the first time. And,
it blows your head
Yeah.
when you start to
Yeah.
improv.
Right.
It's like nobody else came up with
Right.
this but me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So being a part of stuff like that, man, I wish I would have had that at 5.
And you're playing
But,
you're playing with Christian McBride.
Christian McBride is
so it's not a bad first gig.
Your rhythm section. Yeah.
What we'd love to try to do at some point is modify that so you can actually record yourself, as you're playing
that
along,
would
and then
be dope.
export that
Yeah.
audio, email it to yourself or whatever. So you can like,
Nice.
so all over the world, there'll be people issuing their album with Christian McBride,
That-
It's doable. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought about that. I'm glad that's a good idea.
So if there's anybody out there who'd like to fund such a project,
and
give me a
Yes,
call here at the
please.
National
At the
Jazz Museum in
National-
Harlem, and we will work it out. Extension 100. You can reach me. But no, that
Exactly.
project was a lot of fun, and you guys
Yeah.
came in. That was a situation. You guys came in with your own video equipment as
yeah,
well.
we did video and audio on
Yeah,
that.
which is huge. The fact that you
Yeah.
guys are one-stop shop. That was. I just said, this is what I want to do. And you said, okay, we'll do it. And
Let's
you
go.
came in and cranked it out, and it was beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. And you have other interactive stuff around as well. You wanna
Yeah,
tell them about
as
that?
we're a pretty small museum. We're kind of one room, and that room, is both our exhibit space and our, concert and event space. We can fit up to about 90 people here, but that means we basically remove most of the exhibit cases and everything. Everything's on wheels, and we're shuffling stuff around all the time. So we do rely on digital technology a lot to help us get more information out. And we got a lot of stuff in our archives and in our collections, but physical space wise, we're limited. So we have another collection of Eddie Lockjaw Davis, great tenor saxophone player from the swing era, and his stuff. His family donated about 8 or 9 scrapbooks that basically cataloged his whole career. Fascinating stuff. But this stuff, of course, is crumbling. It's old, 50, 60 years old. So we can't just have it out for people to thumb through,
Yeah.
And we can't have it underneath the lights, so because it will continue to deteriorate over time. So, to be good stewards to our collection, we digitized the whole thing, got a grant to digitize all the scrapbooks. So high resolution scans of all the images, all the pages. And we've built that into an interactive kiosk where you can kind of navigate the career of Eddie Lockjaw Davis through this interactive touchscreen. You can listen to the music, you can see the photos, you can see, advertisements from his gigs all over Harlem. He played with Count Basie's orchestra for a long time, and Ella Fitzgerald and Sweets Edison. Like he was in with everybody, in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. So, that's one way that we've used computers to help us, share more of our archive with people.
Yeah.
Spreading the knowledge too.
And if you want to visit here, what are the hours and stuff? Just to
Yeah,
put
so
it out
we-
there, 'cause this is definitely a hands-on place.
Yeah, you want to
you want to
you want to come, you want to hang out, like, give us an hour of your time, and I think you'll have a really good time. It's not like the Met or something
Yes.
where you got to give us a whole day.
Yeah.
You can come and you can hang out with us, and you can visit with some of our volunteers and our docents who all have great stories to tell about jazz. And but we're on 58 West 129th Street, right in the heart of Harlem, just off of Lenox Avenue. If you haven't been to Harlem in a while, if you've never been to Harlem, Lenox Avenue is a pretty exciting place these days with restaurants and cafes and venues and things popping up. Every month there's something new going on, and we're excited to be a part of that energy. And you can come to the museum here. We're open Thursday through Monday from 11 to 5. So that's a little bit non-traditional, but Thursday through Monday. So we're closed Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That's our down days here that allow us to do work in the exhibit space. And but yeah, 11 to 5, you can come hang out with us. If you have a group, you're traveling with a group, or you're a school teacher or somebody want to bring a whole group, we do education workshops. It's about an hour-long program. You can come and bring your group of folks, and yeah, we'll hang out. We'll talk about, it's easy to talk about like stuff that happened a long time ago, and that's exciting and it's very important. But what we try to do is think about jazz. I call it like put a big hug around jazz, like not a little hug, but a big hug, because there's all this music. And so many people like to say, well, jazz is this, it isn't that. They draw these artificial lines and barriers about what is and what isn't. And I think it's counterproductive. It doesn't help anybody. Duke Ellington said his music was beyond category, and we believe that, to the fullest. You can think about jazz and its impact on American culture and on global culture, and you can pretty much connect the dots between jazz and pretty much anything else that we experience in our lives and in our world. People like,
yes,
black geniuses like Louis Armstrong, who decided that he didn't want to play the notes on the page anymore. That was a monumental step forward. His decision to be able to improvise with every bit of sophistication and musical genius that anybody who had ever come before him. That's worth celebrating. And we can see that today, not only in the jazz artists, but we have all these people that kind of straddle so many different worlds of music. People like Robert Glasper and Esperanza Spalding, John Batiste, Christian McBride, who are literally, they're trained jazz musicians. We might see them primarily as that, but they're doing everything. Mm-hmm. They're playing classical music. They're playing, funk, hip hop. They're all over the place, and that's that's not easy. But if you're really passionate and committed to learning and studying jazz, those are the opportunities that you can have. If you really put a big hug around it. You know what I'm saying? Not these tiny, like, if it's not Duke Ellington and doesn't swing, there ain't jazz. That I can see why some people have that perspective, but I think there's much more to it than that, and I think we have to take that healthy approach.
Oh yeah, it's what pushed it on to the next thing and the next thing and the next,
don't limit yourself.
Yeah,
don't limit yourself. Exactly. And each generation, each individual musician is trying to put their own stamp on things. That's again what makes it so unique. It's not just about fitting into a box. It's about mastering the box and then stepping outside the box really deliberately and exploring what else is out there. And jazz is what does that.
Yeah. What you bring to it.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what anything innovative or
But some people don't like innovation.
Yeah.
Some people don't. Or they like innovation to a point.
Yeah.
They like it up to a certain point. Then they don't want it anymore.
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
I'm not comfortable anymore. We can be gone with this. But,
exactly.
Yeah. But it was the whole point of the genre. It's like we just wanted to inch it that far along, and then it branched off into so many other genres that we know of today.
Now you can mix it with technology too. Technology is so powerful.
Oh man.
Yeah, the technology just in the past 10 years just
well, and to circle it back to this podcast, 10 years ago, if you were a young jazz musician, like you were still trying to figure out a way to like get an album, get a label, like raise a bunch of money to get into a studio,
a bunch of money to get into the studio,
right? And that's all been flipped on its head. And it's interesting to watch. I'm a saxophone player. I don't play a whole lot these days. I spend a lot of my time here at the museum, designing curating programs and education and workshops and getting into the schools, and but I play a lot for the young people, and a lot of those barriers, a lot of those musicians who had that mindset that they need a bunch of money to be able to record an album, they've kind of been left behind.
Yeah.
And it's a mindset that unfortunately the reality is that some of our older musicians never developed that understanding of how the scene changed, and how the technology has had such a huge impact on your ability.
Yeah.
We had some people here today that were just doing like guitar and bass recording. And I'm not saying that it's like ready to go on an album, but with the equipment we have here that you guys, installed for us, we get an engineer in here, and that duo, that's a reality. They could come in a half a day and record some tunes.
A live
album, and it's going to sound good.
Yeah.
And what does that cost?
Exactly.
We're here, we're doing it. I'm not saying we're recording albums for free. Don't get me wrong. But the access to that technology.
Yeah, but it's not an SSL, some big 90 channel board in here. You have to pay a lot for that. And that's the point of this podcast, is to show that you don't have to, and most people aren't. I mean, even it's the professionals. They have mostly everybody has a home recording studio where they can just do tracks. So
and you guys have recorded so many different projects and different people. Like, how does it in the jazz world? How does it how do you, when jazz musicians think about recording an album, what does that mean to them compared to like other genres where you're doing like multi-track, like all this other stuff?
That's the thing with jazz. They will knock out an album in a day or a half a day, when most genres are like they just getting in their zone.
They need a week to record
they need a week.
It's
That is a big difference between the jazz world, because they're like, boom, let's go.
Yeah.
We already know the music. We're here. We're ready to just lay it down and
Right.
move on with our day.
Right.
I got a gig tonight, a matter of fact, after this recording of an hour. You're like, wow. In other genres, you don't get that.
They're trying to do a 5 guitar overdub.
Yeah.
They're going to bring a vocalist that doing 120 take.
Yeah. Can I punch in this half measure here?
Exactly.
Like, can I do it the 11th time, 12th
let me
time?
punch in this word,
Can you move that word?
You move the word, exactly. So, So, exactly. So, we came back around to the whole podcast and what we do for you guys. Just, you can do it on the small and big scale and do it well.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, or it doesn't have to look, sound, low budget.
Right.
There's so much gear out here now that you could sound pretty damn good compared to everything else that's going on.
Just
you
make
can
sure your
be on the
performance
level.
is good too.
Yeah.
You got to practice.
That still doesn't
have a
eliminate
$10,000 microphone.
Exactly.
If you don't sound good.
Ain't nothing much that $10,000 can do.
That's very
that $10,000 mic can do if you ain't practiced, or you have to be in the zone all the time to perform. So, oh man, thank you so much, Ryan. That was perfect.
Yeah, thanks for having. Come to the Jazz Museum. Check us out online.
Please. How do we find you online?
Yeah.
So, jazzmuseuminharlem.org is our website, and we're on all the socials. I think most of them it's like NATL, like National, kind of abbreviated, Jazz Museum. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook and on Twitter.
Okay,
YouTube?
we'll
YouTube. I think I'm not exactly sure what our YouTube. You search.
we'll put the links.
Yeah, subscribe, because
in
every
the
time
summary.
Yeah.
Every time you stream, I see, because we subscribe to you. So
yeah, if
every
you
time,
subscribe to us, it'll
pops up
pop
on
up.
your
We'll give you a little
phone,
notification. We love we try to interact with folks a little bit when they're listening, when they're watching. So, please tune in. I mean, yes, we're here in Harlem, but you can come check us out online, on our streaming from any place in the world. So please do that.
Please do. Talented people.
Yeah.
John Baptiste, Christian McBride, Carrie Lynn Tarrington. You guys just a killer out here. So thank you again, Ryan.
Yeah.
And that'll be all for this episode of The Art of Music Tech. Again, you can check us out on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Podbean. I'm missing anything, Dennis? Thank you.
All the social media platforms.
Okay, leave your
23
comments.
DB Productions, Facebook, IG.
Leave your comments. Follow us on all the platforms, IG, Facebook, Twitter. And we want to hear from you. Thank you again for listening, and let's go. This is Fela.
Dennis, let's go. Ryan.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.
For more information of booking 23 DB Productions, visit their website at 23dbproductions.com. Like and follow 23db Productions at Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter for the latest work.